Hello, hello. This is Kristina, your host today, and today's new episode of KSM Podcast Going Business On with Kristina. But today is a little bit different. It's going to be such a New Year podcast episode. It's going to be a little bit different. But my special guest speaker today is Lady Sara Troy. Sara, welcome to the new episode and special episode of KSM Podcast.
Thank you for having me, love. It's a good way to start off the new year.
Oh, yeah. And thank you for joining me. And before we start, just like to introduce for our audience who you are, what you do, and we will continue talking in our show today.
Well, my name is Sara Troy. I own and operate two sites, one of them called selfdiscoverywisdom.com, which is a podcast network of 11 and a half years, but I've been podcasting 12 and a half. And I also have another site called theorchardofwisdom.org, and that is where we produce podcast books and mentorship and educational platforms, which will be coming. And the next book is Our Forgotten Seniors. The last book was Our Forgotten Children, anthologies from people that contributing a chapter on the challenges of being a senior, the gifts that seniors have given, but also the warnings to the young people of being prepared for seniorship along the line. So that book will be coming out in 2025.
Oh, that's lovely. So, by the way, as you mentioned the book, I also co-author of the book, my new book. It was first one was Global Women in Business. It was in 2019, but in December this year, this book delivered in Amazon, and the title of that book is Finding Real Friends with Chu Tang. She's like an editor and producer, but also there are 13 co-authors, and it's amazing, like talking about friendship, building community, and it's such something different that I ever wrote in my life.
Mm. And the beauty of an anthology is, I've written my own book, and that's kind of more daunting and everything else. But when you produce an anthology or you're in an anthology, it's all the different stories in there. So you're kind of creating an orchestra where the rhythm kind of builds up on each other and kind of expands out the knowledge and the wisdom. And it's all these different perspectives around the same topic. And so it's like a box of chocolates and you get to eat all of them. So one at a time. So anthology is a wonderful way of kind of diving into a subject and really looking at it from all different perspectives.
Oh, this is lovely. And it's as I mentioned today, this episode today, this show interview is going to be a little bit different, Sara, and we're going to talk about New Year, about what we plan to do, what we've done, and what is your intention? What do you want to do in 2025?
Oh gosh, God, I've really loaded it up for myself. I really have. Well, producing this second book, Our Forgotten Seniors. So I'm gathering seniors right now for the book, hoping to have 15, 20 people in the book. That will be a project that will be ongoing to hopefully come out mid-year or early fall. Uh, the other project that I'm on is which more of a mission, which is the sisterhood of common sense love and all the men that love and support them. And this is a movement of gathering all the women who have put skills and tools and things in place for when the typhoon, hurricane, and tsunami, which we're seeing in the world right now, settles down and there's chaos around and people don't know where to go or what to do. We've got that sisterhood there ready to help people, help them get back up on their feet, put them in the right direction with love, with compassion, and help them fortify and fulfill themselves. So that is a campaign that I'm very much on right now, and about building that sisterhood of common sense love.
Oh, it's fantastic, and we really need too much love, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Then you can never have enough love. The right kind of love, though. It's the love that truly is connected from the heart, soul, and the spirit, not just the love in the head or of fantasy love, but that love where you really do feel it's a driving force, it's a commitment, it's a promise. And that kind of love that is that helps you get up every day to do what you do because you love to help people change their lives.
Yeah, and in this digital world, as you and as we are today, as how we met each other, and also
Hmm.
we seems that we are knowing each other for years, and
Hmm.
this is something what I really love to do, to connect with people and with honest and opening my with my open heart to help them,
Yeah.
and they help me. And sometimes when I help someone, I don't think that person will help me, but maybe I can get help from other people. And this is some like a circling, it's
Hmm.
like a circle to move forward, as you mentioned about your love, that sisterhood.
Hmm.
What would be so great for to change the world.
Women are going to be the change that we need. We're tired of the wars, we're tired of the bickering, we're tired of the misogyny and the one-upmanship. It is about, we know that, and I'm going to draw the analogy of an orchestra. We've been on our self-discovery of what our instrument is, how to play it. We can play it solo, but we know the impact of coming together in an orchestra where each one of us in our own strength play harmoniously together. And we know that that transcendence of togetherness is going to reach so many more people. So this isn't about compete or compare. This is about compassion and collaboration, and everybody doing it from that place at the heart, because that's their driving force to see everybody rise up into their own freedom, individuality, their own gifts, male or female or by gender, doesn't matter. It's about the heart and soul being liberated and not being curtailed or contained, criticized, or receive cruelty. So it is about that, finding our orchestra, each one of us finding that tribe that we vibe with, and us coming together. And with the gifts that we have, how do we put it in play that we're there to support and help build people up? Because there's going to be an onslaught in the next 2 or 3 years of people that have been let down, that people are being left behind, people that will be going through all sorts of abuse from their governments, from the people around them, from society as a whole. And we need to help them find their beautiful gift that lies within them, their spirit, their heart, their soul, and help them step into their presence and their essence so they become a beacon of light for someone else. So, this is what the sisterhood is about. It's about each one of us, like yourself, with your podcast, with your work, illuminating someone's life so they can shed light on their possibilities, on their gifts, but shed light for someone else that's walking on the path as well. And the more and more we vibrate this out to the world, the more we're going to lift each other up. And we'll leave things like war and hate and greed and opulence and magnitude of narcissism behind. Not to say we don't have women like that as well, but we're not entertaining those women. We're entertaining the people with the true heart and soul that really want to ignite. If people are in it just for self-interest, self this, self that, then no, we're there for the people who feed and fortify themselves so that they can be of service to others, not looking for everyone to be of service to them.
That's lovely, and when you mention sisterhood,
Mhm.
how is going to be with this? It's a global movement, and
Oh,
how women
yes.
can connect. Is it like a platform where they can connect, or is like a,
Mm,
as you mentioned, campaign? And for example, if I wanted to join that sisterhood, how is going to be, or
yeah.
what
Well,
what are steps for that, or any
well,
single.
I've already been doing it for the last 12 years with my podcasts and the mentorship programs, etc. I'm already doing that where I am, shedding light on the people that are already doing the work. What I'm going to do in 25 is make it more poignant, make it more deliberate. I will have create a genre of the sisterhood of common sense love platform where I will interview people on that platform that want to be a part of this movement, that want to open their doors to other people who want to connect and collaborate, want to be there for the people. See, everybody needs to make a living, yes, But we know that when people are at a crossroads, when a crisis has happened to them, when they've been chewed up and spat out, they don't have the money to pay for the people that can give the support. So I want the people that on the philanthropic side of things want to help pick people back up so they can stand on their own 2 feet and pay it forward for someone else. Because I think if we can sustain ourselves, but then give of ourselves to help others sustain their own lives, then I think we are far more enriched as a society. So I will be more deliberate on my sisterhood and common sense. I've just really been talking about it and introducing it. Come the new year, I'll have an entire bigger platform of it. Where people want to particularly. I've been part of a book called Mission Accepted 262, and in that is 262 women, of which I'm one of them, who contribute a chapter, just small chapters, but it was sharing nuggets, sharing something about our lives, sharing some hope, some wisdom. This book has been to the Emmys, it's going to the Grammys, it's traveling the world in the next 5 years. And it is kind of a sisterhood on its own, and I'm very much part of that. I've interviewed, I think, 50 people from the book to expand the story and the depth of it even more. But that is what it's about. It's you're good at what you do, I'm good at what I do. How can we bring that together and collaborate in a way that we can expand this beautiful divine wisdom in order to help others that have lost their way or have been, you know, who have quite honestly, we're going to see so much kind of abuse, from government, from society, how we need to be there for the women, pick them back up, show them they're loved, and show them a better way.
Yeah, and well, sometimes when they are abused, they don't see a light to the
Hmm.
end, and
Yeah.
because they don't see opportunity how to change their life, how to start something new, and they're stuck, and they have a lot of
Well, they're in trauma
problems,
mode. They're in trauma mode, right? And it's like they're
anxiety, trauma.
yes, and it's like it's a trigger. Everything around them they feel is coming to get them, and they're just waiting, defense mode. And it's like how to help them breathe again, how to help them trust their inner voice, their inner instincts.
How to help
How
them to to feel their freedom, that
yes,
they
yes,
are free soul,
yeah.
to
Take
be.
back their freedom, take back their self-power. Yeah, yeah.
That's lovely. And when you are in in that community, in like a synergy of all those
Mm,
energy, as you mentioned, that sisterhood is such a good place for women to get back and to feel again that they are women
right.
in their
And, and
nature
and
way.
exactly in their own beautiful glory. And by having kind of an umbrella of sisterhood, this person you may need at this stage. Now you're ready to go to this person for the next stage. And if we've got that sisterhood with all of the stages there, we can help somebody who's been trodden on and help them get back up to become an illumination on another stage for someone else because they've gone through the process. But we've got to be willing to be there. Um, I'm hoping eventually to get sponsors that will sponsor this. In the meantime, I'm asking this sisterhood to just be giving, just to pick each other up. The currency of love and dignity will pay off, right? Very, very much so in so many ways, enrichment and abundance and financial. But I don't want the financial to hold back the giving and the supporting. Because when we do support that sisterhood and all the men that love and support them, there's plenty of men that do, and they want to be a part of it as well, to get those people enriched and abundant in themselves, the whole society benefits from it. Everybody benefits from it. So I don't want this to be a money-driven thing. I want this to be a heart and soul spirit giving thing where that's the currency that we pour into people, and the currency financially will pay off in its own way at whatever time.
Yeah, and it sounds great because, as you mentioned, just to help them
Mm.
to have their self-love, and just imagine that when we feel that someone, I always say that we need to be such a good givers, because if we
Yes,
don't give, we couldn't receive.
but we do receive in the giving.
Yeah.
That's what people miss. That I'm giving what you're going to give me back. The fact that I am giving something that I know that can help you, I've already received. I've
Yeah.
already received. People don't look at that kind of receiving, enabling somebody else to become more than what they are or have a path in front of them they didn't have. That kind of receiving from that kind of giving is already enriching.
Yes, and everything is in universe, because when you give something, you just feel that abundance. You feel your
Yes.
freedom. You feel have such an amazing feeling that you help someone, that
Yeah.
that person will be so rejoice in terms to when that person gets something or any kind of support and help, if you're a giver to help. And I
Yeah.
like really volunteering work, and I translated many books for free, for
Hmm.
example,
Hmm.
church, for for some people who didn't have money to pay me. But I'm always not just like to there is something which you couldn't pay. There is something that is feeling, that is wisdom, that is something
Yes.
which is, you can only live that, you can only feel that if you take
Mm.
action in that way, to
Yeah.
be a giver.
Yeah. And not a giver to the part of becoming a martyr or giving to the part that you are gasping your last breath. Yes, we want you to put the oxygen on your own face. So, you need to sustain your own living. But outside of that, what portion of your life can you be the giver without any expectation of receiving other than the receiving of knowing you've helped somebody? And I think that's when we kind of truly look at people that understand what philanthropy is, who understand what compassion is. Because when we understand that all of us standing tall in our own essence and our own beautiful gift, that harmony, that choir, that resonance of who we are elevates us as human beings to the spiritual level of where we're meant to be, because we're so far behind our evolution as a humanity. We keep spiraling back into war, into hate, into divide. And that's because the powers know how to manipulate humans and divide and make them hate each other. So you don't actually hate the people that are doing the manipulation. The more empowered we are as an individual, less power they have over us to manipulate us. And this is how we're going to heal division, how we're going to heal the differences of each other, and how we're going to take back our power so they have no power of us. But we've got to find it within ourselves first so that we can stand tall in our own lives and help others see that strength and that empowerment. It's not about power, it's about empowerment within ourselves, and invite them that they can do the same. But people become puppeteers, puppets for the powers that be there, because they divide and they demean and they belittle and they treat everybody like crap and they turn everybody against each other. And the next thing you know, they're winning because that's how they control. So if we take back our own control, then they cannot control. We've just depowered them.
Sounds, yeah, it's easy, true, it's so true. And when we empower ourselves, we're much
Hmm.
more, we're stronger,
Yeah.
we have such a better feeling, excellent feeling.
Hmm.
And we, just this, that we're all unique, and we really deserve to have a freedom
Yeah.
and to put ourselves in a present moment, to know who we are really,
Yes.
and to respect ourselves. If we don't respect, who will do that instead of us? First and
Yeah.
foremost, we need our self-love. We need ourselves to self-respect ourselves, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
and to know how we are worthy in
Hmm.
terms to
Hmm.
in, in being on this planet, and living and everything.
It's also understanding there will always be something to be angry about. But when you give in to anger, right, you've just depowered yourself. anger now rules, and anger is so unreasonable. There's no reason around anger. It's just angry and it wants revenge and it wants to hurt someone, right? We cannot see the very people that were hurting are the people that have stood by us, or the hurt people we're hurting is ourselves. So we can look at something and be mad about it, but how do we empower ourselves to be more empowered over the situation and not step into the anger, which then has a domino effect of hate and division, revenge, violence. So it's understanding our emotions, and they're all there for a reason. Why am I angry? Okay, I'm angry because such and such is happening. Okay, so what am I empowered to do? What can I do about it?
Maybe I can write a book. Maybe I can be a part of co-author's book.
Yes, exactly. Maybe I could be on a podcast. Maybe I could step into empowering myself so I can be an
Yes, of
inspiration for
course.
someone else. It's always that choice. Everything is down to choice. Do we give in to the anger because, oh, it's so titillating, right? Rah, 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 rah. And yeah, it gets rid of all that. But then what it does, it becomes so toxic that, you just keep going back into anger because you don't feel good. And now you become even more angry. So yeah, I always say spend your emotions, right? I'm angry, go and punch a punching bag, go for a jog, write something just to get it out of your system, do something to spend it. And then that's it, full stop. It's done. Now look at it and go, now where is my empowerment to change it? Because
And this
that's
is the
truly where the
beauty of
loving energy is.
today's show, just to talk about how we can empower ourselves,
Yes.
how we can create a better place in this world for living, and give some positive energy to our
Yeah.
community.
We are the problem, but we're also the answer. Is what we feed grows. So you feed hate and division and opulence and insecurity, it grows. When you feed empowerment and self-love and love of others and commitment and compassion and joy, it grows. So which side of the fence do you want to be on? People think it takes too much work to be on this side, the joyful side. Yes, it does take work because you've got to look at all the traumas and all the pain that you've been through. You need to love and nurture yourself and let go of that pain. Let go of the actual pain. You'll never forget it, but it will no longer have impact over you when you let go of the pain. And in letting go of the pain, you're letting go of the revenge, you're letting go of the hold that that situation or that person had on you. And now you can step into that joy and go, I far rather give my energy to this, where it nurtures and energizes me and allows me to become, rather than giving my energy to the pain and the worry and the suffering, which is perpetually asking for more energy and feeds me not.
And lose energy.
Yes,
And you
because
feel
it
like
takes so
when
much
you're in
energy to hate.
negativity,
Yeah,
and you feel pain, you have pain, but sometimes you have pain, have the other one, and then
yeah,
you feel that you cannot walk. You
yeah,
couldn't walk because you feel that you're so low energy, like
yeah.
you need to
You know, we,
charge
mm,
yourself like a
mm,
battery and a mobile
yeah.
phone.
Yes, yes, and we all know they don't last very long. So, that's the thing is that we know that that kind of hate or pain or revenge or anger or despair is like a bloodsucker. It's a piranha. It's an energy that's constantly demanding. And at some point, you have to shut that piranha down and go, no more. And even if it's on your hands and knees, crawl. I've made a choice to step into joy, to discover what joy is again. I've made a choice to heal myself. I've made a choice to look at the sunny side of the street and not allow the darkness to envelop me. But that has to be your choice, and you have to be willing to do the work to get there. And sometimes for some people, once they've made that choice and they take that journey, they never look back and they just propel forward. For other people, it's a harder journey, more to unpack, more to let go of, but and maybe more obstacles in their way. But the whole point is make the choice for the sunny side of the street because it will always energize you and provide you with answers in order to move forward, right?
Sounds fantastic. Yeah, I love that, what you said. What you said, Sarah.
Well, it again, I think the biggest leap you'll ever take in your life is the first step. That first step, that first choice. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to take that first step towards the sun, towards the warmth, towards the love. And step by step by step, I'm going to embrace it. Don't look at, I've got to be at that destination by next year. No, one foot at a time, being present with yourself, being in the moment on every step, paying attention and letting go bit by bit by bit by bit, all that's been holding you back. It's not just I've made a choice now and all the shackles come off. It's as
We
you
need to
walk
do it
piece
step
by
by
piece.
step to change
Yes.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Start at the moment, be a present
Mm.
moment, and move to this. Be in front of sun. Do the meditation. You connect with your Mother Earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. All the answers are there. For the last 12 and a half years, I've been interviewing people who have taken this journey and have answers, answers they discovered along the way that help them to be where they are today. Right? So this is a reason why I do the podcast. I'm an enormous library of wisdom from people who have taken that journey. We learn and we're inspired by other people's journeys. So the more you listen to somebody who's gone through something maybe similar and you find out how they did it, what mindset they were in, who they reached out to, and who they are today, it shows you it's all achievable if you're willing to listen, learn, and apply.
Yeah, and when you yeah, I just wanted to ask you, and you have chance and had chance to interview many
Mm,
people, many entrepreneurs,
yes.
coaches, consultants, whoever, and I think that it's you're as you said that you're such a enormous library.
Yes. Oh God, the amount of wisdom that's here from people all
And
over the world
and
is huge.
what would be like some like a line to all those people? You mentioned that, but
The
what
thread. Mm.
what do you think like that all there you learn from them, but what
Oh
do you
gosh.
think that
Mm.
they're in stock, or maybe what they have something in common? I mean, sisterhood maybe came
Yes,
from
sisterhood
there.
and brotherhood, because I've interviewed many men who are on this path as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, and also,
it
also mixture, sisterhood and
Oh yeah,
brotherhood,
yeah,
also
yeah.
of
It's all
course.
it's people say to me, who do you interview? And I go, all those that come from the heart.
Yeah, I
Because they've
also interviewed the men and women.
right. But
Women.
but if they come from the heart, they've already stepped into the loving path. And what they do comes from love. Self-love, love of what they do, and the love to help somebody else find their path. So that love of who you are. I have interviewed people that have been sent to me that maybe rah rah 6 figures, I'm so popular. And they all have their place, but really when people will listen, they will hear the emptiness because they're all full of saying the right thing and doing da da, but where's the soul in it? Right? But when they listen to somebody else that has gone through hell and back and found that self-love, the meaningful love of who they are, why they are, what they're here to do, and everything they do with loving arms, people feel that and they resonate with that and they embrace that, and then they're more likely to embrace that person and take that journey with them or listen to their wisdom. It is still, once these are out, as you have no control of who listens or from where they listen or how much they take in. All you're doing is giving the information, but with love.
Yes, and I think that here, with talking to people here in my country, in Serbia or other countries, border countries, or internationally, globally, however, I think that people they have, let's say, hungry soul.
Yeah, perfect.
We have, we can, as you mentioned, 10 figures, 6 figures,
Yeah.
however, but I think everything is like mm, outside, like a mask,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like behind the scene. What is with our soul? How do we feel inside?
Mm-hmm.
How we can feed our soul?
Yeah.
How we can give it the food to our soul and be happy? I think that we have that, we are at the right place.
And
Without
that
that,
is,
it's emptiness.
no, we're
Uh,
flapping in the wind. We're flapping in the wind, trying to grasp onto something. When we
it's a
become,
darkness.
yeah. And there's nothing wrong with darkness. I've got to the stage in my life, I can go into the darkness and see the clarity of the light, right? But it's the darkness that consumes you where you see no light. That's where the problem is. Um, when you are present with your essence, the essence of who you are, when you truly are present through meditation, through walk, for whichever way that you make yourself present, you now can hear the wisdom of your soul. That wisdom of your soul that is downloaded from the universe and gives you the information you need, which resonates with your heart and truth. It's given to your spirit to get into action, and your mind knows the clarity it needs to know in the now. And when we are present with our essence and we allow all of this to come through us, we know what to do because it's so clear. It's so clear to us. And we don't need to know the big picture. We just need to know maybe the next steps, or we're shown a big picture for us to walk towards. The whole thing is the answers are always there, ready for download, but we're so busy or running or living an outside life that we're not being centered and present with our own essence in order to receive. So we need to find that space within ourselves where we go in, ignite our heart, ignite our soul, ignite our spirit for our mind to know what it needs to know when it needs to know it, and to learn that practice of just being still and allowing.
So, just for our listeners, just take care and find your place, calm place to be with
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Yeah, yeah. And for some people, I mean, look, I have ADD, and my daughter has ADD, and for her, it's noise all the time. That kind of noise is canceling out certain chatter in the head. But like when I'm driving, when I'm not doing this, I spend an awful lot of time in silence. And I've learned that whatever that little chatter is in the head, I let it go and do its thing. And then things that are important that I'm meant to hear in that chatter will come to me as important. And when I'm ever writing anything or doing a podcast or writing a book, whatever I'm doing, I may have a gist of the vision, but I allow the download to come through me and then I just do. Then it reveals itself of what it wants to be and where it needs to go. And I know to trust it because it feels right with the soul, with the heart, with the spirit. There is no doubt. I don't need clarification. I know it's right to do this. Now it's just a question of what's next, which steps are next, and be willing to listen and allow and take that journey. We dictate so much from the head, and we don't listen to the intellect of the heart, soul, and the spirit. And this is where we go wrong because our head is just a database of information. And we go around and around. Yes, but, sit on your butt and allow the wisdom to come to you. Then you will know which information is relevant when it's relevant.
Sometimes, but I think that you experience that when
Mm-hmm.
you think about something and you're in your calm place with yourself. Think about you get something like that you got an answer and say idea. There's
Yeah,
some click on
yeah,
because you're in a calm space and you can hear your voice, something
mm-hmm.
like from universe. To just you don't have to think about it. You just get answer. You just
Yeah,
have guidance. You just click something. You say this is what I need.
yeah. And you know it because everything about you, your chakras, your breath, everything, it is. And when you just, it is. It just is. Then you know it's right. The next steps of how to reveal or how to do or what to do with it will be revealed, but it just is. Right? And we've been conditioned, yes, but okay, it just is. Prove yourself. Blah, 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 do, you know, and it's like, no, those are steps I need to take. But I don't need to know the last step right now. I need to know the next step right now. And only being present will I understand what that next step is.
Yeah, and this is going to be such a great opportunity for our listeners just to hear this, to listen to this show today, because it's really beneficial for this
We've all got
conversation.
something we want to accomplish in 2025, even if it's just surviving 2025. You know, your listeners are global, and I assume many Americans. And most of my listeners come from America. And
My podcast too is because this
yeah,
the most audience is on about maybe 45% of listeners are in US.
right. And look at what the US is going through right now, right? And basically, it's the universe. You know, the universe gave me a saying 7 years ago. I'm going to shake you up, to wake you up, for you to step up, to change it up and grow up vibrationally, but also as a human race, grow up. We become a bunch of whiners and we constantly focus on lack instead of abundance. And this has allowed the scum of the earth to get in power. These are the poster childs of everything not to be, of everything that is your enemy, everything that is the devil incarnate. It's there. But they divided and manipulated and turned people, neighbors against neighbors, against each other so that you wouldn't pay attention to what they're doing. Now they're in power and they are power hungry people. And they're kind of the piranhas that will never be satisfied. No meal will ever feed them because they need more power, more power. Why? Because inside they're very little people. They're children that are lost. They're people that feel insecure and insignificant. And the only way they can have this significance is by being bigger and bolster and bully. And that's what they are. They're bullies. And the things that they're going to do to America or try to do to America are going to be horrific. And it's already started and he's not even in power yet. This is the invitation to the rest of America and the world, because it's a domino effect around the world, to stand up and go, no, no, to change it up and block everything they can block, come together, not with pitchforks, not with hate, but with that common sense. I'm sorry, mate, you're not going to do that. It's almost like the mama with a child. You're not going to do that, right? And we've got to step into that. We are not going to let them have that power to demolish the people, which they're so ignorant. By demolishing all the people, they only hurt themselves. But they're too much in their power cloud to even see that. Because the more you empower people, the more enriched you are as a society. Right? You diminish people, then it diminishes you, but they're too stupid to see that. So it is up to us. This is where the sisterhood comes in and all the men that love and support them. It is about us standing and saying, no, no, bring on your army, bring on your this, bring on your that. We are not going to allow that. You are not going to hurt women. You're not going to hurt transgender. You're not going to hurt lesbian. You're not going to hurt children. You're not going to hurt immigrants. You're not going to hurt small businesses. You're not going to do this or that. And we have to stand as a unity. You know, he's attacked us in Canada as well, and Mexico, and, you know, now Panama. I mean, everything is about dismantling and putting everything in his. He wants us to be his 51st state, which Canada says, no, we're certainly not. Thank you. We don't want to inherit your problems. The whole point is, if we lay down, he wins and tramples all over us. But if we stand up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 500, 5 million, 10 million up against him, the bully doesn't stand a chance. So this is where the sisterhood is. standing up with common sense love. That isn't happening. This is what's happening. And being that change, putting those movements in place, putting the compassion and the abilities and the safe haven and the empowerment in place for people who start feeling the ricochet of all that they're going to do, where we can take them with love, not I told you so, but with love, and help them become, because the more and more people that join this higher elevation of no nonsense, common sense, all from a place of love, the more we depower them and the more we empower each other.
Yeah,
And
and
there's,
when we love ourselves,
yes,
people will love us because we are
exactly.
much more empowered.
Yes,
And in terms, let's say for in 2025, all those that self-love everything, what do you think, how is going to be with business women journey in the with sisterhood and all around the world?
I think
Uh,
with women in business, it's even more important that whatever your business, especially if it empowers other women or minorities, take minorities across the board there. If it empowers those other people, and then this is where we need you. Again, I do call on the sisterhood of women of a certain amount of their business is philanthropy, is giveaway, because not everything can be transactional financial. We've got to understand we're investing in lives, which invests in your community and the empowerment of the whole. So I'm encouraging people in business to put a percentage aside where they can invest in someone that's being kicked to the curb, that's down and out, help them get up, because the more fruitful and abundant they are, the more abundant the society is. And so I think this is, again, women in business, um, is back to that common sense. If we run our businesses like most men run our businesses, we won't survive. If we run it as we would a household full of children, balancing everything,
yes,
right? We may drop the ball now and again, but we know how to pick it back up,
yeah,
right? So, that's where the common sense comes into it. Is this going to benefit society? No, then we're not going to do it. Does this benefit the whole orchestra? No, then we're not going to do it. How does it benefit your community? So I think if businesses can come together in their communities, the beautiful thing I'm seeing with a lot of people I've interviewed is they've created an umbrella. In business, I'm very good at doing this. I've met somebody who's very good at doing that, and somebody else that's very good at doing that. We've put each other under an umbrella, and so we can pass our clients around to all three, or I can call on that sister for this, that sister for that, and they can call on me for this. And we support each other to make that umbrella strong, because in that way we can serve more clientele.
yeah. And so we can like it through this podcast as well as you
Mhm.
podcaster and you're, let's say, pioneer in podcasting. And you run your podcast maybe, I don't know, 13, 14 years now. I'm not sure.
I've been 12 and a half years podcasting, 11 and a half years with my own network. So,
Mm,
yeah, and it's the only thing career-wise that I've stayed with. And the reason I've stayed with is that, I mean, with ADD and dyslexia, which very often go hand in hand, it's a huge challenge to produce. There's the paperwork, there's the editing, there's the audio development, video development, all of that type of thing. And that helped me structure that because that was not in my, I've never been a structured person, very much a person, I see it in the now and do it. But it was having to plan and having to sort things out. So it's taught me a lot about other skills I had to bring up. And sometimes it's kicking and screaming, but they need to be done, and just get them done so you can enjoy what you like to do. Um, but what I've learned about myself through the years of talking to counselors and therapists and people with what they've gone through, the relatability to realize I'm not alone. Other people have gone through this. What did they do to survive? All right. And it basically all comes down to choice and attitude, right? I choose to find love within myself for myself. I choose to speak to myself in kindness. I choose to embrace myself with love. I choose to move forward only in a loving arena. And, you know, when they look at that and go, I am not what happened to me. What happened to me is for me to discover my strength, my courage, my abilities, my calling, and to change our perception of how we look at things. And then we become so much stronger as a person. But imagine bringing that strength together all under one umbrella.
And how did your podcast, help you to change yourself, or to do you think that that podcast changes
Yeah.
like in some way? And
Oh, yeah.
yeah, me too. I think I have to say
Yeah.
that's true. All those conversations,
Yes.
and I'm not the same person, like last year or 2 years
Yeah.
ago, 3 years ago, and but this is my fulfillment. I really love
Yes.
what I do. I
Yes.
really live
Yes.
that when I
Yes.
get up, when I go to sleep, when I
Yes.
think about amazing people to talk
Exactly.
to them.
They rub off on you. You know, when you've heard a horrific story of what somebody has gone through, and like you look at who they are today as a human being, that I always say inspiration begets invitation. When you're so inspired by that person's journey, the invitation is you too can do this.
Mm.
You too can find your way out. And then it becomes that invitation for us to grow and become. And that's the beauty of it all, right? It's understanding society, especially misogynistic society, religious society, you know, corporate society has wanted to keep us small, and we're controllable. But if you burst out of that box, because you're not meant to be in a box, there is no box, and you spread your wings and you really discover what you're really about and what you really are here to do, then you just find the empowerment of who you are, and what you're here to do, and how you can help other people find their own empowerment. And that's what it's about. The more we grow within ourselves and the more we become elevated as human beings, the more we become the solution. Mother Earth is pissed off at us and she wants to evict us for the way we treat her. When you elevate, you cannot knowingly do harm to someone else. For to do so, you know that you're going to cause harm to self. So what you want to do is always enable something that is positive, that is loving. And the more you do that, the more we frequently, with this frequency of our world lifted up to a higher elevation, the earth starts healing. We come together as a human nation and we start looking at greed and opulence as something of the past and look at collaboration and cohesiveness and community and start building something that then becomes beneficial to all.
Yes, of
I,
course,
I think I think kind of that's where communism originally orientated, right? But you know, it's like I'm all for someone getting rich. If you get rich, you get rich, as long as it's not on the back of pain. Others are not suffering to make you rich, right? You're sharing the wealth. And then when you've got that wealth, you're seeding possibilities and opportunities for other people, paying it back, then go and get rich. It's when we've got the richest man in the world making money and then taking resources and money from other people. That's when we're looking at things as being totally out of balance. Right? We can make a lot of money. It's what do we do with that money that's then going to empower society?
so. But the first and foremost, what I think that we need, like a born, like a baby, when we move to this planet, to this world, when we are born, and with that honest and freedom, and we deserve to be free all our life to,
Yes,
and we
yes.
need to create that self-love. And for example, for people, what do you think, either females or male, in 2025, how to overcome negativity, how to overcome to be in stuck and start doing what they want to do, especially in business, for example. Maybe they wanted to start doing something, but they're in stuck and they don't have self-confidence
Number
to start.
one, choice. I choose. I choose to walk this path. Number two, a positive attitude, which doesn't mean la la la, not paying attention to problems. It means looking at every problem with a positive attitude that there is a solution to be found here. Not a, oh my God, but a solution. Okay, this is a barrier. This is an obstacle. What am I
But we
empowered to
always
do
have
about it?
solution, A, B, C,
No,
D.
exactly. There's always a
Try
solution,
this
and you,
one, it doesn't work. Try the next one,
yes,
third one, fourth one.
yes, that's the point. And have a good attitude about things, but have a gratitude attitude, right? Be grateful, even for the falls, because you got back up, right? It's when you fall and can't get back up, there's a problem. But every time you get back up, but it's learning to adjust the vision, to be able to see things from all different perspectives, all different sides, to listen to other people on their ideas. How can they be incorporated to create a bigger picture? To realize I am I in my own life, but I want to be a we in the collective, right? All the collective is a bunch of I's that wish to share.
Yeah.
Right? It's not I am better than you. I am good at this, you're good at that. Let us share. And
Let
that's
us
the,
let us to collaborate.
yes, collaborate
Collaborate.
cohesively. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I think if you want your business to grow, is don't look at the 5-year plan, right? Look at weekly plans. I mean, the things that I'm doing now, the books, the first book was Our Forgotten Children that came out this year, this last year, 2024. The audio will be coming out this year. The Our Forgotten Seniors book will be out this year. I had intended 2 books a year to go out, but I've shortened my days now because I now look after my grandchildren a couple of days a week. So I only work 3 days a week where I interview. There's always the admin, but where I interview. I was working 8, 9 days a week before, that's what it felt like. And it was a lot of work and it was out of balance. So I've put more balance in my life. I'll probably get more done because of better balance than I would of loading myself up all the time. One thing I've learned, just because I was given a vision, and I was given a vision 7 years ago where to take, my company, the books, the podcast books, as I call them, the mentorship program. I want to get into an educational program as well. All of that is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that vision. But when, where, with whom, and how had to be revealed. And it had to be revealed at the right timing. Is it now? Is it now? No? Okay, not. So this book last year was now, this book this year is now. And you've got to learn to take away this dictation. It's got to be done in this time. It's got to be done this way. It's got to be done that way. It is allow your instincts and your intellect, your mind intellect of knowledge, your soul intellect of wisdom, your spirit intellect of action, your heart intellect of compassion and collaboration. Allow it to help you take those next steps, one step at a time. Stop trying to leap to the end or do things by numbers and expectation. Because somebody's done it in that way in their business, it worked for them. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, right? We don't have to eat the whole box of chocolates. We take the chocolate that we like. We don't have to eat the whole one, right?
Yes,
Because,
of
and that's
course.
the thing, that's trusting your instincts. Trust in your instincts. Now, if this feels right now, this is what I need to concentrate on. Okay, I'm now ready for what's next. What's next?
It's
Right?
so true.
Yeah. Because we all try and do too much and have this set plan. It's got to be by this, it's got to be by then. And then God laughs at us. No, that's not when you're meant to have the time period, right? And it's like we can have a vision of what we would like to achieve, the vision of what we would like to achieve. But what we actually achieve and how we get there is we're in our presence. And the gift of the presence is in the now.
Sarah, do you have something maybe for like a freebie or something like that for New Year to share with our audience, or some checklist or ebook or whatever? Or we didn't talk about the start today, but maybe something like that.
Um,
People.
I don't have like a how-to book. All my shows are around and then the why to, if you want to know the how to, but the connection. It's all about connection with self and with others.
And to be honest, I would like to read that how to. This is your book. You written that.
I've written several books. I've Our Forgotten Children is actually an anthology around 15 authors. This is about the raising of our children, a system that is broken and is producing broken adults, because we are taking away the essence, the joy, the wonderment from our children and making them conform. And that conformity is what's basically killing them. There's my own book that I wrote, which is Sara, Sara's Self-Discovery to Soul Living, and this was my memoir. Then I was in Dare to Live Fearlessly, and this is a book where I contribute a chapter about fear that I had to face and not let get in my way. And then this was another book, Mission Accepted 262, 262 women in the book, where we all contributed. This is a sisterhood that would definitely be incorporated in my sisterhood plan. So I know I'm going to be in another book this year, which is something in the works. But for me, it's about every week I do a podcast. And sometimes I know what I want to talk about. Sometimes I just press record and see what comes out. But it's always about a perception, an idea, something I see, something I feel, something I face, or something I feel that needs to change.
At that
And so
moment, at the
at that
present,
moment, it's always in the moment.
and it's only one time.
Yeah,
You
and that,
cannot.
yeah, that's that show. But there's a lot of synchronicity between my show, the thread. As I said, the thread through everything is love. But the thread is also about communication, community, cohesiveness, compassion, collaboration. It's always that thread, because I want you to succeed and be the very best you can be in all aspects of your life, right? And that you rising up to that level of self-love and joy and happiness and meaningful purpose, it warms my heart. But it also means you are now the right contribution to the world and what the world needs. And if all of us can rise up to that feeling, we've just turned the volume up on love and harmony and peace, because we're the love we seek, we're the harmony we seek, we're the peace we seek. It's not out there. It comes from within us. And the more we become it, the more we exude it out.
Yeah, this is so true. Sorry, it's amazing, and let me know that I can share. Do you have a link? I can share it
And most
below this
certainly. So
show
this,
today. So
yes,
you will send me
I
all those links to your book that audience maybe can go. Are those books on Amazon
They
or?
are all on Amazon. And if you go to Sara Troy, Sara Troy, Troy, you'll see all the books that I'm in on Amazon. So the whole lot will be there. You go to selfdiscoverywisdom.com and you will see the book there, and under About Sara, you will see all the shows that I've done with other people and also the books. And if you go to the orchardofwisdom.org, you will also see the authors in the book. There's a podcast with everybody. I do 2 podcasts with authors, the one about them, their why, what they do, one about their chapter. There was 2 summits that we did with them. And that will be for our forgotten seniors as well. I am taking on the seniors right now. So anybody who wishes to contribute in the book, I am now interviewing people for the book for our forgotten seniors. So obviously they need to be a senior, and also willing to be a part of the summits and the podcasts and the whole promotional campaign behind it as well. But it's about awareness, because I do believe that when we're aware, we begin to care. And most people don't care because they're unaware. And I think when you're aware of a situation, that awareness brings about that careness, and something you can't be unaware of anymore because you're aware.
Yeah.
So yes, they can reach out to me that way, or they can reach out to me at selfdiscoverywisdom@gmail.com as well.
Thank you, Sarah. It was lovely talking to you today. It was such an amazing episode for sharing and for our new 2025 and how we see
Again,
ourselves in
yeah,
2025.
it's about choice, isn't it? So summarize it, it's about choice, it's about attitude, it's about perception. What do you want 2025 to represent for you? And if it is harmony and growth and peace and love, then how are you going to become that so you can make that happen? So what's your priority this year? And your priority should be yourself.
Yeah.
Are you in harmony? Are you in peace? Are you in self-love? Because I guarantee you, when you are in these things, that's when everything else grows in enrichment and in abundance.
Mm.
But maybe this year is for you to invest in yourself and find that peace and love. Because I promise you, in the next couple of years, we're going to need sisterhood
Yeah, I know.
badly. And so we need you to be as strong and fortified as you can be, so you can be a part of this collective.
And do you have your favorite meditation maybe to share with us? Maybe people can go to YouTube channel or something like that.
I don't,
Just
I don't do meditation in the traditional way, because with the ADD, you've always got something going on in your head. So music for me.
yes,
Music is, people don't realize this, that the frequency of music, especially
yes,
when you crave certain music, it recalibrates your body and it can
yeah.
rebalance you. So when I get out of balance, it's music, not necessarily word music, just music itself. And it rebalances me and calms me down. And
Especially classic music, for example, it's like a frequency which is so
yes, it is. Yeah.
you
And,
should
you know, it
become
could be going for a walk. It could be, you
this.
know, being amongst animals. It could be being amongst children. I have two grandbabies to look after. So it is finding where you remove yourself from thought chatter, where you can find your presence. And, you know, when you're in nature and you're allowing the breeze through the trees and the rustle of the leaves to speak to you, or you're walking along the beach, the ocean is kissing the shore, washing away your woes. You're in the rain and it feels like it's cleansing everything. You're around children and puppy dogs chasing bones and sticks and riding bikes and the joy. You just tap into that energy. So find your space that makes you feel present with what's going on around you in a harmonious way, in a way that calms you, warms you, and opens you up, because that's when you're ready to receive. So each person's meditation is different.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. And yeah, and finally, we wish you all happy 2025, happy New
Yes,
Year, all the
yes.
best. And
Let's make it the
that,
turning point this year,
yeah,
putting it on the right track,
and
right?
we will be again in 2025 no podcast. So thank you, Sarah. It was
My
such a
pleasure. Thank you.
pleasure, really, really pleasure having you today. You shared an amazing story. We have such an amazing conversation. And if we impact only one person, we will be so
Yeah,
successful with this episode today.
that's what it's about. Domino effect, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
For
So
you,
happy New
Happy
Year
New
to you.
Year and see you very soon. Thank you, Sarah. Bye for now. Happy New
Thank you.
Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.